right, time now for past picks. The first one up is Priceline. Let's take a look at how it's performed and what you think of it now.
I would buy the stock today.
Okay.
Interestingly, one of the hallmarks of a good market is leadership should broaden to new groups. And one of the groups that noticeably was absent from the market a lot of this year was consumer discretionary. And early in the fall, the travel and leisure group, and you can look at that group looking at PEJ as an ETF, started to lift and certainly lifted into the election. And in this group, of course, is Priceline, and there's a number of other companies as well, cruise lines and gaming companies and so on.
So you said PEJ?
PEJ.
Okay.
PEJ is an ETF that holds all of the travel and leisure companies.
Okay.
And it's been performing very, very well over the last 3 weeks. I would say that this is a good group. The consumer discretionary group started there, and then some of the more broad consumer discretionary companies, you can look at VCR, which is a broader ETF for consumer discretionary, has really joined the fray and is making new highs now. So consumer discretionary is a relevant part of the market. Arguably, if the economy is getting better, they're going to benefit. If there's, of course, any changes to taxes, of course, they benefit. Priceline is a dominant company in the travel business, right? They have a good franchise in the U.S. They got a great franchise in Europe. That's actually where the strength is in the business. There's been a lot of growth. It's been a great company, and I would buy it here.
Okay. Let's take a look at the next past pick. It's General Electric.
So we really like the industrial space. Although what I would say is that we have morphed more toward mid-sized companies that are more domestically focused, right? With the strength in the dollar in the U.S. versus the world currencies, there has been a pickup in the mid-cap part of the market, and some of the other large companies that are more domestically focused, like one of our picks tonight. I don't think you're going to get hurt with GE. I think that it's actually a great company, exceedingly well managed. It is having a good lift over the last 2 or 3 weeks. We don't own the stock currently. We came out of it in the summer, but I see no reason not to own it if you own it now.
Okay. And the next past pick is Cognizant, CTSH.
This is one you need to be out of.
You need to be out of it, okay.
Yeah, so look at one of the things that was impacted by the election is anything that is providing outsourcing services into the U.S. So Cognizant has a lot of operations outside of the U.S. in India. There's a lot of the Indian companies doing the same thing, and of course these have all been hurt. Anything emerging markets related, which sadly is where most of the equity inflows went early in the year. Emerging markets really are underperforming. There's a very clear domestic theme versus a global theme, and Cognizant would be one that I'd be a little bit careful of.
So, and David, just to kind of give the viewers a little bit of your style and how you approach management, and for something like this, it's down 22%. Did you have a stop loss on it? Did you look at the technicals? When did you get out?
So look, before we enter, we're looking for a sector that's seeing net inflows, and we track breadth, or the percentage of stocks performing well. When breadth starts to contract, it gives us pause. It means money's leaving a group. We look at the fundamental picture of the security. We look for good getting better. But if price isn't doing what the fundamentals are doing, then we assume there must be a disconnect. So we use stop losses on all of our positions. And on this one, we got stopped out last January. If you recall, last January, February, very weak in the U.S. market. And this is one that broke down technically at that point, sort of in the low 60s.
Okay, and just lastly on Cognizant, it is a U.S.-based company, but they are an outsourcing company.
That's exactly right.
Are you saying that
you want to be careful? You want to be careful with outsourcing companies, I think, right now.
Because of Trump?
Because of Trump's policies.
Okay, we're going to be back after the short break. Our number is 1-855-326-6266.